Hello, Aries. This is your reading for the full moon in Aries. So I am doing all the mutable signs first, as mutable signs will be affected the strongest through this energy, which would be Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer. So if you know your birth chart and you have any planets or placements in these zodiac signs, then this energy is affecting you a little stronger. So let's see what comes through for you, Aries, for this full moon in your sign. Conjunct to Chiron, the wounded healer, which highlights all of our deepest, subconscious even, childhood wounds and patterns that have been developed from unprocessed emotional pain caused in our childhood that just was we were unable to process. Maybe there wasn't emotional support available for us, and they affect us throughout our life and our adulthood, especially within our relationships, as relationships to others are the giant cosmic mirror for us to see these patterns, these habits, these wounds that are within each and every one of us. No human being on this planet can escape having childhood trauma and wounds. And when I say trauma, it could be, these are subconscious. So what is traumatic for a child that brings them to a point of powerlessness is not what we adults typically would imagine. But it's important that we all touch base with our deepest emotional parts of ourselves, especially the inner child, as we still carry on the energy of our inner child with us through adulthood. So Aries, you are the first today for your reading. I'm not going to do extendeds in these readings. I'm going to just read all the way through for everybody. It's a little gift to you. But if you're interested in my Patreon channel, that information is in the description box below as well. These are general readings, so take what resonates for you and leave the rest. Resonating meaning that you feel it in your body, every cell in your body, like, yeah, she's talking to me. This message is for me. And if you're guided to this message, and it's not the full moon in Aries anymore, it's not October 8th or 9th or 10th, yet you're still resonating with it, this message is for you. Time is not linear. It's not a straight line or the calendar like we use it here on Earth. It is cyclical. We always circle back to energies. So with all that said, what is going on for Aries? All right, we have 2 cards out already. 5 of Voices. Okay, Aries. So it seems as though you've been working through reconciling within yourself. This is a pattern within yourself. This is split energy. This is fragmented parts of yourself that you're trying to call back, subconsciously maybe, or maybe you're consciously aware of this, trying to call back these subconscious parts of yourself so that you can reconcile all of your parts, your inner child, your inner critic, the protector, the angry one, the sad one. You're reconciling the part of yourself that has codependency patterns, that is always trying to make sure that everybody else is taken care of, people pleasing, and you neglect your own needs and emotions by carrying out and doing things for everybody else, and just always, it's a pattern from childhood that you want to recognize, Aries. And it seems as though you are, because you're walking past it, you're eclipsing this past version of yourself, meaning you're not disregarding it, but you are ready to walk to higher ground from this way of being. Beautiful. So emotionally, you're over it. You're ready to move on to a more evolved version of yourself. A more mature version of yourself that actually takes your feelings and emotions and takes yourself into consideration. Not that we're not considering others, but when we are trying to make sure that everybody else around us is happy, and that is a pattern of, well, you know, especially when we're emotionally sensitive as children, if we had parents or siblings or people in our family dynamic that were either explosive or just very combative with each other, or just had certain ways that the energy was hard to deal with, we would do whatever we needed to do to make sure that that didn't affect us. We would make sure everybody's happy so that we felt like we could be happy. That is definitely a pattern that will come back to bite you in the ass, as I know from personal experiences here. The wheel. Cycles are shifting. You're shifting out of this patterning. You're shifting out of this portion of your journey here, Aries. Let's keep going here. And the important thing is, as the cycles are shifting, as you are noticing the changes and going with the changes within yourself, that we integrate the wisdom, the knowledge, the medicine of the lessons that we've learned through hard experiences, challenging experiences in life. Queen of Voices. So right now, Aries, you may be experiencing, the Queen of Voices is speaking her truth, how she feels, but she's not very compassionate about how other people are going to receive what she's saying. It's more like lashing out, like, and pointing the finger maybe at others, like, you are this, and you've done this, and this is how, and that, it may be your internal truth of how you're feeling at the time, but it's so surface level, and that's also a pattern, Aries, you want to pay attention to. Because, yeah, you might be speaking truth with a very sharp tongue, and it may not be received the way that you intend it to be received. So you want to pull your energy back to the heart. I just did a video on the relationship energy for the collective. So Aries, this definitely has to do with your relationship to another. This is a soul contract, and it is a deep soul contract with another person. We all human beings on this planet, okay, I was guided to here too. Currently, what you're working through in this soul contract is, first of all, you're guarded, you're overly guarded, and so you're not really showing truly who you are, and you're experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of maybe sleepless nights, a lot of pain is coming up, and maybe you're not fully aware of it. I mean, there is some awareness here, yet it's still very at the surface, and it's like you just want to attack and blame everybody else for the way that you're feeling, especially this one, the person that you're deeply connected to. And we human beings, as far as how we relate to others, the way that I have seen it, the way that it has been shown to me, is that we connect to another to learn more about ourselves and our childhood patterns, so that, you know, our relationships are reflections of our subconscious, of parts of us that we still need to integrate and change to be authentic and whole and real and feel comfortable within that dynamic. Ooh, so let's keep going here, Aries. There could be some arguments, some volatile energy right now through this moon, Aries. You want to be mindful of your words. Pay attention to your energy. There's nothing wrong with being angry or fearful, but sit with yourself longer to see, where does this emotion take me? Why am I feeling this way? at a deeper level, not like what is happening right here, but go deeper, Aries. When was the very first time you felt what you're feeling now? That's a clue that will take you back to childhood experiences, that will show you what this current situation is mirroring to you to heal, to grow through and evolve out of. All right. First card out with the Five of Voices has an olive branch in between the two faces. These two faces are you. These are it's the duality of you that you want to call back in, reconcile within yourself. We all just think that we're just one person. We have one part, one body, one part, one mind. That's not the case. When we're children, especially between the ages of birth up to age 7 or 8, we are more of our divine presence. And by the time we reach around age 7, we are then pushed really into social conditioning, all of the upbringing, the patterning. We are programmed and conditioned to be versions that our parents want us to be, that society wants us to be, that our teachers want us to be, all of those things. We start to branch, and we have experiences then. So we have our divine part, who we are, our soul, but then our childhood experiences, and then adolescence and adult, it branches out. All these emotions and feelings branch off, and we have all these parts, and we unconsciously, subconsciously aren't aware that we're not connected to all of our parts. That's where shadow work comes in. Our shadow is the parts of ourselves that we have abandoned, that we deny, are parts of ourselves that we don't want to admit. We don't want anybody else to see. Of course, everybody does see that part except for us. So it's important to call that part back to you. Get in touch with the parts of yourself that are angry, that are fearful, that are in pain. And dialogue with them. Give them love. This is how you can really call yourself back to wholeness and completeness, authentically. So yes, you're currently in a state of emotional withdrawal, which is a good thing. You're pulling yourself, you're emotionally withdrawing yourself from a situation or a person. This person in this card is sitting at the shoreline, meditating, praying to have some kind of resolve. These are parts that are within you, Aries, that just are running amok, and they don't feel very good, and they're causing problems within your relationships and within your relationship to yourself. That's the thing. If you don't have a good, loving relationship to yourself, then your relationships outside of yourself are going to reflect that as well. Big time. Let's keep going. So there could be some traumas that are unhealed. Base chakra. So when you indulge in people pleasing, in codependency patterns, it's because you are not feeling grounded and rooted within yourself, within your situation. You're very ungrounded and uncomfortable. And so you're doing all these manipulative tactics outside of yourself that seem like they're come from care and compassion, but deeply, if you go deeper there, the way that you are enacting within your relationship dynamics, it has to do with a deeper pain, trauma that's inside that has you continuously doing what you're doing. And instead of recognizing that, I need to get grounded within myself. I need to feel stable and rooted and secure and safe within myself, within whom I am. This is where nature comes in to help a lot too. Just to clear away some of the debris. You go outside, go out hug a tree, walk barefoot if it's warm enough for you to. Get some of the good energy that Mother Nature provides for us for grounding. Reconnect to the nature of yourself. This is for sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Aries, by the way. Yeah, it all comes down to choices. So you do have a choice, Aries. And so this is telling me that you're not quite here yet, but you're aware, you're conscious that I do have a choice. I can move away from this mindset, this mentality, this way of being, put in some work towards myself. It is important that you make the correct choice for yourself. Are you going to continue to play in life the way you had been? Or is it not working for you anymore? Is it not doing you any favors? Is there something that you need to change? What kind of choices do you need to make here, Aries? It's also based on like how we make our choices and decisions. What's the energetic drive behind what choices and decisions that you make? You want to take a deeper look into that as well. Is it based out of fear, based out of lack, worried that I'm not going to have enough? Or the choices that you make, is it based out of love, out of your heart, regardless of what the outcome is? It is a choice to change. Be the change. We all desire something to change outside of ourselves, but we don't always look inside to make those changes internally. We want to just continue to try to manipulate and change things outside of ourselves, change people. It doesn't work that way, and you will eventually find that out, Aries. I feel there's a lot of anger that's still brewing inside of you. So touch base with that anger too. It's okay to be angry, but then the behavior that is, like, what kind of behavior patterns do you go into when you feel the emotion of anger? Do you lash out? Do you project your anger onto others? Are you ashamed of your anger? Don't be ashamed of your emotions. Definitely, you want to honor every emotion that you feel, but it is a choice on what behaviors, what we actually do with those emotions. That is up to each and every single one of us. We always have a choice. And if you're one that knows that you see red when you get to a certain point of anger and there's nothing that you can do, then there's certain things that you, practices that you can put into place so that you can catch yourself before you start to see red, Aries. We can feel these emotions before they take over us if we are present and conscious to them. But when we're not, when we're in our head, when we're just distracting ourselves from the way we feel anyway, or we're swallowing our pain and anger, that's when it can come out eruptive and we have no control over those emotions then. So Aries, definitely be present when you feel a shift in your emotional body, when you start to feel that you're starting to like not feel so good. Check yourself, check in with yourself before it gets to a point where you are going to do or say something that you may regret in the future. It's that inner authority. Aries, you're so impulsive too. So as the cycle shifts, we will get a closer look at our Saturn traits. And this could be just the way that you, this could be the way that you shelter yourself or the boundaries that you uphold for yourself. But this also could speak of how you actually react to authority. How do you react to authority? How do you react to, who do you become when you don't get your way, Aries? Look deeper into that. Who do you become when you don't get your way? That's a shadow aspect that you definitely definitely want to take a look at. I mean, if you're looking to evolve and grow. Yeah. Speaking of the shadow, Aries, this entire bottom spread is all about you and your shadow. The aspects of yourself that you deny, that you do not want to take a look at because it's painful, it's horrible, actually, a lot of times. But shadow work is very healing and very healthy, and it helps bring us back to our authenticity. So the Queen of Voices, the lashing out, the, just cutting words and just slashing everyone to bits and pieces has everything to do with your need to be recognized, to be heard, and to get what you want. And this is a pattern from childhood, Aries. It's almost like temper tantrums cranked up to like 1,000 in an adult form. It can be really nasty energy. So you want to pay attention to that. Okay, where are we at? 21 minutes. Let's do an advice card for you, Aries, to wrap this up for this full moon. So you are working through your shadow and within your relationships, your codependency through this full moon in Aries. And we have the full moon in Aries, which is reflecting the self. Aries is I am. It's all about me. And then we have the sun in Libra, along with Venus in Libra, opposing. And Libra is all about relationships and balance. And Venus is all about relationships and balance as well. So we are trying in this energy to call back our authentic self and bring a sense of us into the I am. If you're really interested in staying in this relationship or forming this relationship into a more healthy, cohesive, balanced experience for both you and the other person. Okay, Aries. Advice for Aries. Loneliness. I'm going to read this one from the book. It's been quite a while, but it says, I know that I am never alone. And I feel like you are feeling very lonely, even in your relationships, because you're not fully connecting to yourself. Actually, I don't need to read this from the book. It's all coming through right now. Aries. Another reason why you may feel the way you feel, maybe why some of the anger is coming up, is because you are still fragmented from all of your parts. This is why you feel so lonely, even when you're surrounded by other people, because you're not even in tune with your own heart, your own soul. And so those around you certainly can't be either. So they're not going to really fully connect. There's just a surface level connection that gets old after a while. But you are not alone, Aries. This is definitely some deep inner reflection that needs to happen in order for you to free yourself, liberate yourself from your past trauma, from your past pain, to heal your relationships and your connections to other people, so that you're no longer acting out like the queen of voices here, where you're just saying whatever comes to mind and there's no care or compassion or empathy for whoever you're projecting your anger out onto. Whoa. Okay, so Aries, that is your reading for this full moon. I hope that you got something out of this. Take good care of yourself. And if you like this video, please click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That will help the algorithms within YouTube get these messages out to more and more people who may need to hear them. And I would be gratefully appreciated as well. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can book through my website. That information is in the description box below. My website is BeTheChange333.com, and you can book through there. Take care, Aries. Bye.